tell us about what you guys did today and how everybody fared in conditioning drills.
Everybody looked good out there. We just did a simple conditioning test just to get a gauge on where they are. We let them know before they left for their vacation what the test was going to be, so they had a chance to prepare for it. So it was pretty simple for everybody, and everybody looked good running it.
Jay, can you run down some of the injured guys and their ability to participate early in camp? I guess Ryan, Trent, Morgan, D'Angelo.
Yeah, so far
Jordan
we got a
Reed.
clearance on all those guys, all 5 of those guys that you mentioned. So we expect them to be full go, and we'll monitor them as we go, but we expect good things from all 5 of those guys. And Trent, Jordan, D'Angelo, Ryan, and who's the 5th one? Morgan. Yes, they've all got a clean bill.
So you guys got the deal done with the Ryan Kerrigan. How important was that to get it done before camp, and what does he obviously mean to this?
That's exciting for him, man. I'm happy for him, and great kid, obviously. Drafted here, he's a Redskin, loves the area, loves his football team, and you love rewarding guys like that actually perform and play well for you and play hard. He's one of the guys we lean on both on and off the field, locker room leader, and we're happy to have him, man. I'd love to have a locker room full of Ryan Kerrigans, that's for sure. So we're happy for him, and I'm happy he got the deal done, and he can put it behind him and just move forward and do what he always does, and that's prepare hard and play hard.
Coach, as you go through training camp, do you get a sense of how good your team is, or do you get a better sense of who's playing well and who's going to make the team?
Well, we're trying to do both. We're trying to improve as a football team, number one. That's all we're trying to do every day is improve a certain area of our game. And then we're also trying to critique our players and find out who our best 53 are. And that's an ongoing process that'll take place all throughout the preseason, and it's something we got to be very good about. We feel very good about the 90 guys we have in this locker room right now, and there's going to be great competition at every spot. For the first team, for the second team, for the third team, obviously. So we're excited about the process moving forward. We just want to make sure we give everybody ample opportunity to make this team and prove what they can do. And we got a good look at them in OTAs, and now training camp. Hopefully they'll take it to a next level and show us what they have.
Jay, for a lot of last year, Kerrigan didn't have Arakpo alongside him, but now definitely won't have that this year. What do you need out of him as he goes into this year for you guys to succeed defensively?
Well, he's obviously one of our top players on defense. He's been rewarded for it for his production throughout the years, and he's a guy that plays every down. He's a guy that can stop the run, obviously, very good at the point of attack, and he's a guy that can get after the quarterback. So, we're going to get consistent play out of Ryan. We need people around Ryan. He needs to continue to improve himself, obviously, and he will. He's that type of guy, and he sets a tone for other people. When you see somebody like that get rewarded, and you see the work that he puts in, both on and off the field, it shows young guys on what we're all about here at the Washington Redskins, and other guys will follow. And that's what we need. We need more guys to perform like that and play like that.
Hello again, Coach.
Hi.
Much has been written about Robert this offseason. There was an article recently that had a number of unnamed sources not showing him very much love. I wondered what you thought of the comments that have been said about him and what you've seen in Robert this offseason, and what you think is going to happen as he goes through training camp.
Well, there's always comments about the quarterback position, both good and bad, no matter where you are. And it's just something you have to deal with as a quarterback, no matter who says them. If you're an unnamed source, you don't give a lot of credibility to them because you don't know who's saying it. It could be a guy who's never played the game or coached the game or been part of the game. So one of the most important criteria for quarterbacks is to be mentally tough, and I feel like Robert is, and he's going to handle the adversity that he's handled already, both with injuries and some of the play that we've had, the production 4-12 last year, and he's going to get better. He's that type of guy, and we're excited about him here, the work that he's put in to get his body right, the work that he's put in to get his mind right, and now it's just a matter of going out here and continuing to coach our offense and watching him get better, and it's a fun deal to watch. It really is, to watch a player like that improve himself every day.
Does Ryan have another level to his game as you look at what he can do at 13 sacks last year? Where can he go from here?
He can get to another level. We have to give him a better chance to get to another level. We got to play with the lead, make teams have to throw, in the fourth quarter where he can get his numbers up. His fantasy football numbers, you say 13 sacks, there's guys with more, but unfortunately we were behind a lot of games in the fourth quarter. Teams are grinding out the clock on us, but when teams have to throw on 3rd and 8, we feel good about having Ryan Kerrigan as a defensive end or playing inside or as a stand-up guy dropping. He can do it all. And, he's an accountable guy. He's never had an issue off the field here being late to a meeting. Like I said, his work ethic is outstanding. He's a great example for younger players, and he's going to get better as years go on.
Jay, you mentioned Trent Williams earlier about the injury. He's another guy who is in talks with the team about an extension. Where do those things stand, and do you think something will get done there sooner rather than later?
Well, they're in talks right now. That's all I can say. You know, it's Bruce and Scott working with him and his agent, and whatever happens, happens. But we expect Trent to be full go. I saw him out there running today, and he looked like a gazelle. He's in great shape, man, and great spirits, and he's going to work hard no matter what the contract situation is. I know it. So we'll let that work out. All we're worried about is the first day of training camp, installing our offense, installing our core values here tonight and tomorrow, and then watching these guys go out and play and compete. And Trent's going to be a big part of our team.
Jay, Scott's talked about wanting to have big, tough guys. When you see this roster and what he did in the draft and free agency, how close are you to having that type of team, kind of that transformation taking place into just the type of team that he wants and obviously you want too? Yeah, we're working on that. You know, I think in football you want to have tough guys. Last time I checked, it's a tough sport, and we're working to try to change our approach or mentality, so to speak, to have some bigger, tough, physical football players. And it starts out here on the practice field. Some of the guys that we have in house weren't asked to do some of the tough things we're asking them to do. So we'll see how it transpires in camp. Our offensive line, defensive line, tight ends, backs. We expect tough football players, linebackers, and and it's going to start in training camp right now, day one, and what we expect. And we can't let anything slip under the cracks, and we just got to continue to coach them and make sure we demand a lot out of them.
You've got quite a bit of changes to your coaching staff from last season. Why were those changes important, and how do you think that'll help you in your second year as head coach?
Well, I mentioned at the end of the season, we had to make some changes. We couldn't keep everything status quo, or we're probably going to get the same results, unfortunately. So we made some changes to the roster, made some changes in the building, coaching staff, training, weight staff, strength staff, really all across the board in our organization. We were evaluated, and we made some necessary changes we think that are for the better. We got some energetic coaches, Joe Barry, obviously, Perry Fuel, good coaches, Coach Akey. We got a strength coach, Mike Clark, we feel really good about. Obviously, Bill Callahan coming in. So we've made some positive changes along the staff. And the big thing we're just trying to do is make sure we maintain a level of excellence that our staff is responsible for, and we have to carry it down to our players. Great teachers that have a great passion for football, and we feel like we got a great one in here.
Jay, obviously it's the second year for you. What did you learn from running training camp last year? And in what ways are you going to be better, more sure of yourself, different in any way?
Well, I think, we're still going to do some of the things similar. We just changed the times a little bit, but we're able to bring another team in here, which is going to be similar. But we're going to just try to really focus on situational football, 1st and 10, third down, red zone, key situations that we have to really master that we probably weren't so good at last year. And it starts in training camp. If you don't focus on them now, then when they show up in the game time, you're not quite as prepared. And we want to make sure that when we go out on game day, we're prepared for every situation possible. And also we have to make sure we're physically in good shape. Not so much running them to death out here, but making sure they're at 100%, have a full tank of gas on Sunday. So there's a fine line between wearing them out here and keeping them fresh. We just got to make sure we know that fine line and really understand our players, where they are physically, where they are mentally, and continue to challenge them every day in the classroom and on the field.
Jay, bigger picture from year one. You faced your fair share amount of challenges both on the field and off the field last year. What are your big takeaways coming into year two as the head coach of the Washington Redskins?
Well, obviously, year one wasn't good enough. Our standards are a lot higher than what we showed last year. Obviously, we're all disappointed at the finish, but last year's over. And moving forward, we want to make sure we continue, or we want to make sure we really focus on having a positive approach with our players, our coaches, and making sure we have an impact on this football team in a good way. And it starts, like I said, it starts in the classroom, in the meeting room, where we make sure we maintain their attention and challenge them mentally, and come out here and just coach them. And we're trying to develop players and develop men here that the Washington Redskins faithful can be proud of. And when they come to a game on Sunday, they know we're going to get a heck of a battle from our football team, a competitive group, a focused group, and a team that's going to do whatever it takes to try to win the football game. And just push our core values, just keep pushing them at them, and continue to watch these guys develop, these young players develop, and the veteran players lead, and great things will happen if we do things the right way.
Jay, you talked about the energy of the coaches. Can you feel that, and how can that translate and help the other players? Does it help them at all And then secondly, and this is completely separate, but I want to get it in, do you have any thoughts at all on the whole Brady situation, and is it a big deal with the whole with the PSI and the football and the deflate and all that?
Yeah, well, players, they feel the energy and the true passion of the coaches. I know they feel it, and they want to be coached. There's no question about it. At the end of the day, when the players are laying in bed after a long physical grinding day, man, they want to feel like they got better, and we feel like we have the people in this building to make the players get better, and that's what it's all about. We're just trying to get better every day. As far as the Brady thing, I don't have any comment whatsoever on that. I've been kind of out of the loop on that.
Jay, when you look at this roster right now compared to the roster at the start of training camp last year, do you feel like it's better? Are you better equipped to turn this team around? And what are some areas, some signs that if you do see that progress?
Oh, no question, I feel better. I feel like we're a lot better. No question about it. And we attacked free agency in a positive way. We got more depth on the defensive line. We got some safeties. We got some corners that can play. We did a good job in the draft. We got some young players with some very talented skills, and we feel good about moving forward. And then we also feel good about the guys that we had last year that have a year with our system on offense and had developed, and we feel good about coaching them and developing. They know what to expect from me and a lot of our staff, and moving forward, it's all about learning from last year's mistakes, learning from what we did last year, and getting better into this year, and watching these players grow and developing the young players. It's a fun process, and I feel very good about where we are.
Jay, Mitch Carr, WRIC, the ABC station here in town. When the fans come, what do you want to see out of the fans that are coming here to training camp?
Love energy, lots of energy, man. Give these guys a hand. They're going to be working hard, man. When they make a great play, cheer for them. So the good thing is on every play there's a good play. Either defense makes a great play or offense makes a good play. So should be a lot of cheering going on. But, last year I felt the energy was good out here. Hopefully they come out here and enjoy the team, and our team will be receptive to giving them autographs, I hope, and things will go well. But it's a great environment here. We love the area. We love the city. We love coming down here. And the players like performing in front of the crowds, that's for sure. And practice goes, we got a little bit more pep in our step when we have a good crowd out here. So we welcome everybody to come out and enjoy the time.
Coach Darnell Myrick, WVCW here in Richmond. With the acquisitions you had with Chris Culliver, Terrence Knight on defense, and others, how confident are you in your defense going into this season?
I'm very confident. You talk about the new guys, but I talk about the guys that are coming back also, like the Ryan Kerrigans and Chris Baker, and we have some guys, Keenan Robinson and Perry Riley. We have some guys that have been here also that are going to get better also. So we feel good. We just got to make sure we figure out ways and make sure we mesh as a unit and we play together as a team. That's the biggest thing we're trying to do, is make sure we're all on the same page mentally. And then physically, with the athleticism that we have, the ability to rush a passer, I think that we have, the ability to cover, I think things will work out. But the biggest thing is just trying to get these guys to mesh, find our best guys in the best situations, and get them prepared.
Hey, can you talk a little bit about the offensive line, specifically the left tackle position, and how important it is to find the right guy for that spot?
Trent? Yeah.
If he's the right guy.
Yeah, he's the right guy. He's pretty good. Yeah, no, Trent's right now our starting left tackle, and he's excellent. When he had a couple nagging injuries last year with his ankle, Morgan Moses stepped in as a rookie, had his struggles, but he also was developing as a player, and then he got hurt. We drafted Brandon, obviously, to play the right side. We have Tom Compton in-house, who's also playing. So we feel good about the tackle spot. We got Ty in here, who's going to give us some depth, and we got some tackles in here that compete. That's for sure. You have to have more than one. Trent's a great one to have, but we got to make sure we develop other ones in case something happens. But we feel good about Trent, obviously, left tackle. I think he's as good as anybody in the league.